you for my 336 subscribers now. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, I love you guys. Hi guys, it's Kash and I am back with another video. Yeah, woo, 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 yeah. Don't get too excited, but if it's your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I post videos. And if you're into videos about finance, food, fashion, family, you are in the right spot, okay? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can be here for future videos and you could always live life in the cash lane. Now y'all know I shot a vlog last week for my son's graduation and I really enjoyed doing that. So you can expect to see more vlogs from me even though it's hard work. But today we are continuing our series, all right? I'm breaking down my ebook that is available on CassieRoyal.com as well as refund1taxgroup.com. And I'll also link that below for you guys if you want to get that. But we're going to be breaking down, we did chapters 1 through 3 week before last, and today we're going to be breaking down a very important chapter in the Ultimate Tax Boss Guide, okay? And it is credentials. All right, now let me just say this, depending on your state, it may vary what is needed to become a tax professional in that state. But the majority of the states, I believe 42 of the 50 states, there are very little credentials needed. I live here in Texas, so obviously the ebook was written here in Texas, so I am basing my data off of the Texas regulations, okay? So once you've made the decision to become a tax professional in the recession-proof tax industry, which is basically what chapters 1 through 3 of the ebook is about, you now need to know where to begin. How do I start to make money in this industry, all right? And the very first thing I suggest that you do is start with your credentials, all right? Now, depending on your state, there may not be any education legally required for you to prepare taxes in that state. But you're here for a reason. You're here for my good advice. You're here because you want to know how to be a long-lasting, successful tax preparer. And I've been in this industry over a decade, and I've had some bumps and bruises, but I'm here. But if it were me, regardless if it's necessary or not, before I did anything, I would take a beginner-friendly tax preparation course. All right? Again, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. If you were having surgery, wouldn't you want to be operated on by a licensed doctor that has completed his education, his post-secondary education? Absolutely. All right? So in order to really get a grip on what's expected out of you as a tax professional, because it is a serious job, you're working directly with the Internal Revenue Service, okay? You're that liaison between them and the client. You want to know about the industry that you're getting involved in, right? So my first suggestion when it comes down to credentials, although your state may not require you to have any, is to take a tax preparation course. Something that's beginner friendly, no prerequisites required, like the one we offer here at Refund One Tax Group. You can also find that information on CassieRoyal.com, which is my consulting website, and on RefundOneTaxGroup.com. We do offer a comprehensive tax course. I will say this, if you are looking to enroll and you want a good discount, competitive price, do so before June the 1st because our prices are going back to normal, okay? The early bird special will be over. But we offer a certificate-based 6-hour online comprehensive tax course that's beginner friendly and will give you all the tools in your toolbox that you're gonna need to be a successful tax preparer. Okay, so first and foremost, chapter 4, credentials, the breakdown, that's where we're at. And it is taking an education course about tax preparation, taxes in general, okay? Like I said last week, the one thing that I don't suggest you do is take a course through a company that is going to require you to work for them for a certain amount of years. This is the year to be your own boss. Yes, you can go do taxes for someone else, but why would you want to? You want to be able to make a big portion of your money, all right? You want to be your own boss, all right? We want to make that bottom line end up, reach for the stars. We want to make sure that you are making money. And this is a very lucrative industry. And depending on how serious you take it, how hard you work, you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time. So, credentials, tax course is the very first thing that I suggest. Secondly, you're going to apply for your PTIN, all right, your PTIN, your Prepared Tax Identification Number. This is kind of like your electronic signature with the Internal Revenue Service, okay? For all applicable tax returns, you're going to have to put your PTIN on there. It tells the IRS who you are, where you're located, basically who's preparing that customer's tax return. All right. This used to be free up until last year. Well, they charged for it for when I first got into the industry, and then around 15 or 16, it became free, and now they're charging for it again. All right. So I had to make that adjustment in the ebook. If you've already purchased the ebook and it says that it's free, it's because it was written the earlier part of last year before it changed. But the cost for this PTIN is $35.95. Okay. It's a simple application on IRS.gov. You can apply within minutes, and in most cases, it is issued instantly. Okay. Very rarely have I seen that it wasn't issued instantly, but as long as taking care of your taxes, record semi-clean, you should be fine. Okay. And in terms of record, from my understanding, unless you've committed like a financial crime or fraud, that's the only thing that really will stop you from getting approved for the PTIN, the PTIN, all right? So one thing that I did do, if you go ahead and head over to CassieRoyal.com, my consulting website, I've put together some free guides for you just to kind of help you get through the process. Obviously, I want you to read the ebook because it has lots of details. Everything is more detailed. But I did create a PTIN guide and an EFIN guide for you guys if you want to go ahead and download your free copy on the website. That way it can give you instructions on how to begin that process, all right? But the PTIN application is not very long at all. It's going to ask you questions about obviously your tax return from the previous year or the year before that. You're going to have filed your taxes within the last couple years. It's going to ask you questions about if you committed any crimes, the firm that you're working with, your EIN, questions like that. You only have to answer the questions that have the asterisks. All right. So a lot of people always call me, oh, how do I answer this? If it's not required, you don't have to worry about it. But obviously you're going to give as much information as possible so you can get that PTIN issued. So chapter 4, we're breaking it down and it's about credentials, guys. So right now we've already talked about education is the first piece of the puzzle. Learn your craft, okay? You want to be an expert in your field. Will you be an expert in 1 year? No. But year after year, you have to put in the work to be able to properly and accurately prepare tax returns for your clients. Anybody can get someone a refund. I've talked about that before. Anybody can type in W-2, box 1, box 2, type in a kid's name, social, and birthday, and get someone a refund. But can you actually legally find loopholes for customers that may owe into the Internal Revenue? All right. Do you know what AGI means? Do you know the filing statuses and how that can affect the client's tax return? Those are the things, some of the things you're going to need to know. And the tax course is going to teach you that. Second thing, you want to apply for your credentials. The good thing about our tax course, there's a whole module in there that helps you apply for your PTIN, okay? So I don't know if every course is like that, but ours is special. Ours is the bomb. Our tax school partners are top of the line, which is why we use them. But the second thing you want to do is apply for your prepared tax identification number. Okay? In the event that you expect to prepare 10 or more tax returns, which if you're on this channel, you will be preparing hundreds of tax returns because we don't settle for less, although all money's good money. In some cases, but whether you do 10 or 210, it's all going to be income. It's all going to be revenue for your household. But our job is for you to maximize that time frame that you have, which is that 4 months of tax season. And what we like to do when we're consulting our tax partners is to help you make at least 5 figures your first year. All right, everyone doesn't always do that, but in many cases they do. So if you plan on doing 10 or more tax returns, you'll need an electronic filing identification number. You will need to become an authorized e-file provider, okay? Now, this particular credential is a little more difficult for you to obtain. First of all, I always tell people if you are applying for an EFIN, start early. The sooner the better, because it's about a 6-week process. But last year, what I noticed with a few of our Be Your Own bosses that signed up with us, they didn't get approved for their EFIN until it was the next tax season. All right. It took 4 months. There is a couple people that are still waiting for approval. So to say the least, the Internal Revenue, bless their hearts, they're behind on processing some of that stuff. Okay. So you need to for one, start early. I would suggest now, if you're going to plan on being an e-file, authorized e-file provider. And like I said before, if you plan on doing 11 or more tax returns, you need an EFIN. We do have an EFIN sharing program here, but I was on the phone with my software partners the other day, and they talked about, regulations coming down on that soon. I don't know when, but there may not always be an opportunity for you to share an EFIN with someone. Or with whoever you work for. So if it were me and you plan on being your own boss, I would suggest starting that EFIN application ASAP, okay? So you go to the Internal Revenue, IRS.gov, you create an account, and then you start your authorized e-filer application, okay? This application is a little bit more difficult than the PTIN, but it's going to ask you basic information, obviously tax return information to verify your identity. You'll also have to have a mortgage, car loan, student loan, some type of open financial history to verify yourself online. Otherwise, you may have to go into the Internal Revenue building or to make an appointment with an actual officer to apply for your credentials. But once you complete the application, you have to do what's called a suitability test, where they're going to check your background. You're going to have to turn in your fingerprints. And to obtain an EFIN, it's not like the PTIN to where, you could have somewhat of a record and still be approved. With the EFIN, EFIN, the EFIN, different from EIN, I always have to say that, electronic filing identification number. They're going to want to make sure that you're a reputable individual, and you have to have a squeaky clean record in a sense, okay? So once you begin that application, you fill it out as soon as you possibly can. You're going to go do your fingerprints at either the local police department or a fingerprinting business that they do that for a living. You don't want to do this on your own. You want to take it to the professionals. Once you do that on your fingerprint, card, there's an address that you're going to mail that to, and then it's just a waiting process. Okay, now a part of that suitability test is you're going to have to be current on your taxes. They want to make sure that you're a tax-paying citizen, and they want to make sure that you're a reputable human being, because ultimately you are going to be electronically filing tax returns to the Internal Revenue Service. Okay, so the EFIN process, like I said, a little bit more difficult than the PTIN, but it's necessary. And if it were me and I was going to start a career in the lucrative tax business, I would want to have my very own credentials. Obviously, if you can't get an EFIN, you can go work for someone and share their EFIN until those regulations are put in place to where you can no longer do so. But those two applications are going to be the first two things you're going to want to do in terms of credentials and becoming a tax professional. Now, if you're new here, you've probably never heard me say this, but if you've been on this channel, thank you for my 336 subscribers now. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, I love you guys. But if you're new here, you've probably never heard me say this, but it does not take a math magician to become a tax professional, all right? As long as you have a good, trustworthy software, a good sense of what's going on, you can read, you can write, you can type, it's an industry that you can learn and grow in. That does not take away from the fact that you have a very important job, though, okay? You have a very important job to not mishandle customers' information. You have to take pride in your work. You have to be as knowledgeable as possible on as many situations as possible. And you have to be an overall good individual. You want to be morally responsible. Okay, because again, you're dealing with people's identity. Their whole life is in your hands. You have their driver's license, date of birth, socials, or income. So you want to be a reputable individual. Okay, so you know, I shouldn't have to really say it, but you can't be up in here scamming. Okay, but for the most part, guys, the Ultimate Tax Boss, it breaks the process down for you in layman terms, in terms that you can understand. If you want to head over to CassieRoyal.com, and it's also on RefundOneTaxGroup.com. I'll link those in the description box below. I've created a free EFIN guide, a free PTIN guide, for you guys, just for my YouTube channel. If you're not getting that information from here and that coupon code that I'm going to put in the description box, it won't be for free. So I did that specifically for my subscribers, to just thank you guys for rocking with me. And like I said, it's going to be a guide, step-by-step guide on how to get you started to apply for your credentials. Okay, like I said, depending on your state, you always want to check and see if there's anything additional that's required. States like California, you know, they have different CE credits and things that are required before you can become a professional in those states. But for the most part, it doesn't take much to get into this industry, okay? I love you guys for being here. You know that. I always try to make my videos under 15 minutes. We're a little bit over today. I hope you've rocked with me this whole time. If you have been here to the end of this video, our ebook right now, I'm going to give you a coupon code. If you want to go purchase the ebook, I'm going to give you a 20% coupon code, okay? And you have to put XOYT. Like XOYT is in YouTube, all right? And you're gonna save 20% just for sticking around on that Ultimate Tax Guide ebook. Again, we broke down chapters 4 today, credentials, and I would always suggest you start with education, followed by your PTIN, your PTIN, and then your EFIN, EFIN, different from EIN. Okay, so if you guys like videos like this, don't forget to stay tuned. Watch a couple of my other videos. You may learn something. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, y'all reach out to me. At least once or twice a week, I get a call from someone that has seen me on YouTube, and I love it. I love you guys for it. Be blessed. Stick around for next week, and if you have anything that you want me to touch on, any questions, leave them in the comment box. Okay, I'm always looking of ways to create new content for you guys, and you know I love you for being here. I probably said it 100 times, but I'm at 336 subscribers at this point, and I'm so grateful. Today is Sunday. It is May the 15th, so I'm in the office. I made me about $2,000 today, and I plan on making close to 5 or 6 on Monday, the last day of the season. So we're almost complete with our 2021 tax season, although I do taxes all year, but we will start our summer hours next week, and I'll have more time and energy to devote to you guys. I look forward to consulting each and every one of you that want help in getting started. I always say you do not have to recreate the wheel. You just have to copy the right cat. And we have the resources and the partners and the relationships that you'll need to be successful. Check out the description box, guys, for your discount code. No, not your discount codes. I'm telling you, it's XOYT. All right, but I will put the links below for the free guides I've created for you, just because I want you to be successful, and I want you to make a buku of money, and I want you to have a side business and be an ultimate boss, an ultimate tax boss. See you next week, guys.